Which is better, an all-inclusive resort or a cruise? The answer really depends on you, but in this video, we'll give you the information you need to help you make the decision. While both cruises and all-inclusive resorts are amazing vacation options, there are some things you should know before you decide which is best for you. We've given this question a lot of thought, and we're excited to share what we've learned over the course of our travels. I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com, and over the past 20 years, my family and I have visited about 8 all-inclusive resorts and cruised over 40 times with 6 different cruise lines. While we obviously devote most of our vacation days to cruises, we love throwing a little spice into our travel routine with the occasional land vacation now and then. We have personally found all-inclusive resorts to be a fun, kind of laid-back alternative to cruising. While this video is meant to point out some of the differences between cruises and what we'll call all-inclusive resorts, we find that they typically have a lot in common. They both offer a worry-free vacation, an abundant amount of dining options, incredible service, pampering from the staff, and something for everyone. Now let's talk about some of the differences between the two. But first I have to say, remember to stay until the end of this video because that's when I'll stitch all of this together to give you the big picture on our preferences. Okay. Aside from the obvious fact that a cruise transports you from place to place on a moving vessel and an all-inclusive resort is a standalone property, there are some important differences that need to be pointed out right up front. The first difference: alcohol, soda, specialty coffee, and a wide variety of beverages are typically included in the price at an all-inclusive resort. But on a cruise, you'll usually pay extra for those, at least on the mass market cruise lines. The same usually goes for Wi-Fi, but most, but certainly not all-inclusives usually bundle Wi-Fi with a daily rate, while on a mass market cruise line like Carnival or Royal Caribbean, you will pay extra for internet privileges. You may be wondering about how food differs with cruises and all-inclusives. Honestly, in our experience, they're actually pretty similar in that they both offer buffets, specialty dining options, and fast poolside fare. So we're going to let you decide what you prefer on this one. Food is just super subjective, and quality kind of varies from property to property and ship to ship. All right, how about differences in accommodations? This is a big one. Unless you're cruising in a very large suite, cruise ship staterooms are usually a lot smaller than resort hotel rooms. That means you'll have a lot more room to spread out, order room service, and maybe even soak in a jacuzzi tub in your spacious resort hotel room. You can even book swim-up suites at some properties, which isn't something that you can do on a cruise ship just yet. What about entertainment and activities? Now this topic is tough to generalize because there's so much variance between different cruise lines and different resort properties. But we tend to see that cruise ships offer more Broadway style entertainment, casino fun, cruise director, staff-led activities, while all-inclusive properties tend to focus on beach and pool activities, water sports, and the occasional evening show. On a cruise, you'll find everything from bingo to line dancing and high-quality comedy and Broadway shows. While at a resort, it might be water aerobics with a DJ in the background, sports on the beach for all ages, and organized kayaking and paddleboarding sessions. We realize that some resorts have more entertainment than others, but cruise lines typically have more to offer in this area, especially when it comes to nightlife. Now, the last key difference is that a cruise typically takes you to several different destinations or ports of call, while an all-inclusive obviously is a single destination. One thing to note about this difference, though, is that there are some all-inclusive resort properties that will allow you to visit their sister properties in the same area for the day. This is so cool. Cancun and Playa del Carmen all-inclusives are really good examples of this type of property swapping. So if you're the type who likes to mix it up a little bit and experience something a little different, you may look at all-inclusive properties that offer this type of experience. It's so much fun, and they'll generally even bus you back and forth. Now, we've covered the key differences between cruises and all-inclusive resorts. So, which is better? That's why you came here, right? Which is better? Let's start with what we prefer about all-inclusives. For us, the pools, swim-up bars, and beaches at many all-inclusive resorts just can't be beat. There's something ultra-relaxing about waking up each day and enjoying a full day by the pool or at the beach. And let's face it, cruise ship pools are comparatively smaller than most resort pools, so there's more room to spread out and enjoy pool life and maybe even rent a cabana for the day. And cruise ship pools, let's be honest, they're more crowded too. If you're a lounge by the pool type of traveler, there are some gorgeous, expansive designs at resorts. They tend not to feel as crowded, like we mentioned, as those cruise ship pools, and they just offer more real estate. The same goes for beaches at some resorts. While a cruise ship takes you to ports with beaches as an option, nothing quite compares to spending your vacation with your toes in the sand from sunrise to sunset. It's just different. From playing sports on the beach to taking horseback rides or playing in the waves, beach time is abundant at all-inclusive resorts. Oh, and can we talk about swim-up bars for a minute? I absolutely love being in the pool and swimming up to the bar for my next mojito. To me, this is another element of all-inclusive and resort travel that there's just really no substitute for. Is anybody with me here? Now, I know some of you are going to say this, so I'm going to preempt it. I hear that there are swim-up bars in the works on some new cruise ship builds coming soon, and I will definitely be the first in line for that one. So hopefully it's coming and we can merge both worlds. But we have more to say on resorts. One thing that stands out for us about resorts is that we love the casual vibe. While there are dress codes in some restaurants and you can go all out and get all dressed up if you'd like, you could also easily spend your vacation at a resort in shorts and swimwear if that's the experience you're after. In fact, the last resort we visited had a food truck by the pool. So yeah, it was like ceviche, tacos, and no shoes for us most days, at least for lunch. And that laid-back vibe also applies to the pace at a resort. At a resort, you're never going to be rushing to get back to the ship or anywhere for that matter. You could just chill there all week. And sometimes that's just what the doctor ordered. We also appreciate that there are typically fewer upcharges at these resorts, which is good because resorts also tend to be more expensive than cruises overall. Lastly, if pool time is important to you and you're traveling with little ones, all-inclusives can be a better fit for families with babies who are still in swim diapers and want to spend time in the pool. Cruise ships typically do not permit babies in the pool unless they're potty trained. Swim diapers are a big no-no on cruise ships, so take that into consideration. All right, now here are a few things we prefer about cruise travel. We love that on a cruise, you typically wake up in a new place every single day. The variety of port stops is such a draw for us, and there's no method of travel quite like it. With a cruise, we have a fond appreciation as well for the tradition that comes along with cruise travel. Formal nights, the incredible service, the bond with your room steward and your servers, and the thrill of sail away draw us back again and again. I want to clarify that I don't believe that the service is necessarily better on a ship, but there's something unique about the entire cruise experience that just can't be matched when it comes to that service. We also find that cruising is a great value, and you can customize a cruise a little bit more. For example, let's say you don't drink alcohol. No problem, just don't purchase a drink package on a cruise. With an all-inclusive resort, you're sort of paying up front for all of those inclusions, even if you don't take advantage of them. Here's another example. On a cruise, you can choose the size and price point of your room, while a resort will have choices, but they're going to have fewer choices. Because cruise ships offer more variety in size and price of rooms, cruising can truly appeal to just about any travel budget. Cruises also offer what I like to call the home port advantage. And what I mean by this is that if you live in the United States, it may be possible to drive to your embarkation port, making it unnecessary to fly to your destination or your resort. Not only can this save money, but it's a great time saver and an excellent option for people who don't like to fly or who maybe are afraid to fly. While there are some exceptions, most all-inclusive resorts are in locations that require a flight to get there. So, have you been to an all-inclusive resort? If so, we have a question for you. In the comments below, let us know how you felt an all-inclusive resort was different from a cruise and which type of travel you prefer. We'd really like to hear from you on this. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my #1 love when it comes to cruise travel: the open sea. For me, there's really nothing like being on the ocean, exploring a new spot each day, then falling asleep to the sound of the crashing waves. I love the rocking of the ship as I lay my head on the pillow, exhausted from a day of exploring and adventure. It's a personal opinion, but nothing compares to the open ocean experience that only cruising can bring. Thank you so very much for watching today. And until next time, friends, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.